Okay. I think there may be hope. Hang on. Can't see my comments yet, so I'm sorry. If you guys can let us know if you can hear or at least see us. Yay! Oh, technical difficulties. Sorry about that, everyone. I promise one of these days I'm going to get this mastered on at least the beginning part of this.
Or just tune in 8 minutes past whatever our live time is. And by then, we'll be good to go.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. So let me see if I can get rid of the echo. Is that... No. Nope. I think we are stuck with a slight echo. You know what? I'm going to just ignore it for right now because everything else at least is working. So
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Oh, wait, you got in it, yeah?
Yeah.
So Dave's saying he can hear the echo too.
I will get that echo fixed at some point. Let me see one more thing. Scott, if you can say something delightful.
Something delightful.
While I work on this.
Sounds like we got 2 mics on.
Double mic pickup.
Did you turn off the tablets?
What about that? No. There. No. This is fun. Okay, I'm going to keep playing with this.
Yeah, there was a screen you were on that you could pick audio from the device.
Sorry. Here we go.
Oh, I think we narrowed it down. I don't hear an echo.
Is the echo gone? If not, I think I have one more button that I can fix it with. Message retracted. Dun dun dun.
Did not sound well. All right. I can't hear the echo on our end. Do you hear it?
If not, at least it's better. Hello, Tom.
Hey, Tom.
Okay. Look, we can do chats and cool stuff on the video feed. It's going to be so much fun. Okay.
Cool.
We have good sound now.
Quit playing with it. Let's go.
Exactly. No touchy. Oh. So, thank you all so much for joining. Let me get rid of our little logo because that is in the way. Hang on. We're going to stick it in the center. I get to feel all special. We have our logo. I put chats in there. Oh, I did all kinds of fun stuff. Which is why it's funny when it stops working. I'm like, but I did everything else right. It's okay. Effort. A for effort. Always.
Sure.
Now your volume's super low. All right. I'm going to keep working on that.
Or you just talk really, really loud.
We could do that too. So.
Turn your sound up.
I'm working on getting the sound pumped up. Nope, it says my sound is loud. Okay, so I'm kind of blasting the audio as much as I can, but we will try and talk really, really loud. And Scott, if you can set yours to 20, that'll help. Okay. So we are going to do the best that we can with that one. Sorry.
Now I hear the echo.
Oops. Wrong button. Okay. Sound up. Raise the volume. I think we've got it a little bit better. We had the same problem last time, and it was improved but not perfect. So, well, I'll keep kind of fiddling with it. So, really quick, obviously we've made it to 500 subscribers, and actually we've definitely exceeded that. Last I checked, we were at like 534. We were flying way past 500, which is really, really cool. So my big question for you all is, how have you liked our 31 comics of Halloween so far? So we've covered, obviously, the vampires, and we've covered demons. We have a lot coming up. Can't hear you, Laura. Volume a little better. Congrats on the 500. Okay. Hello, J-Pop.
Hey, Jay.
So my big question is, is there something that you guys are looking forward to the most with your 31 comics of Halloween, or is there like one go-to comic that you read every single year?
I like the Halloween theme. It's cool. And Mr. Smith is loving it as well. Awesome.
536 subscribers. Awesome.
Learning about comics that I probably wouldn't have explored on my own. That's one of the goals of the channel, is to broaden everybody's horizons, including our own. We definitely want to make recommendations that you might not have seen, and we also like getting recommendations from you that we haven't talked about.
Yes.
Investigating.
So, of course, we have plenty more coming, and Mr. Smith, definitely glad you're loving it.
Mm-hmm.
I love the different Halloween themes. Obviously, slight hint, there could be a reason that we like Halloween. But, I mean, it's so much fun because there's so many different things within Halloween that, I mean, you could actually very easily find 31 vampire comics. You could find all these different things. But I like being able to just sort of break it into these different categories. And there are some of the topics we were just talking about it this afternoon. We have an upcoming category, monsters. And some of the comics in that category are really good, and some of them aren't the best. And honestly, in some ways, that's what I like about those reviews, is to be able to give you a heads up of, this is one to definitely grab, this is one that, may not be your cup of tea. Or it could be right up your alley if you're looking for something in particular.
Well, and so one of the things that we are trying to kind of keep in mind, too, is there's so many different ways that this world of comics reaches various different people, too. And obviously, this isn't like the end-all, be-all. Even when we break it down into categories, it's not like, these are the 5 categories, there shall be no other. No. But at the same time, these are kind of things that we keyed in on when we were looking at our collection. We're like, wow, we kind of got some themes going on here. And we narrowed it down that way in order to kind of make it a little bit easier to present, as opposed to trying to do, well, number one, we couldn't do 31 videos for the month, like one a day.
That's a lot.
And on top of that, there's so much getting ready to happen. It's a busier time of the year. Some people have kids that just went back to school. We're kind of getting out of COVID most places. There's a lot of activity everywhere, it seems like. So it's true for us as well, which means that if we can kind of make it a little bit more concise presentation for you on some ideas, and you can check in and read Laura's little chapters that she puts in there for you, to kind of jump to the good parts. That's what we're aiming for. And ultimately, we will have more. We've already talked about stuff this year that we're going to do next year.
Definitely.
That we're like, oh, that would have been a good one for this video. So trust me, there's a lot more. We're just tip of the iceberg. But
well, and you guys have been giving some amazing recommendations.
Yes.
So, for this year, I tried picking 31 titles based off of what we had immediately available. Most of it's actually on our bookshelves that we hadn't read yet. We had a couple titles that, we grabbed from, I had just purchased Outcast, which I told you all about yesterday. And I grabbed 2 titles from the library. And I was like, okay, we'll see. But overall, we had a ton of these just sort of sitting here waiting to be reviewed and read. So if we go into the, titles that we want to be purchasing, or other ones that are coming out this year, like Bunny Mask, then it just gets even bigger. So I think we can very easily keep doing 31 titles for Halloween and keep changing it up every year. There's so many to choose from.
Yeah, I really agree.
So, observations from the fence post. So we have the bats could stay. So someone gave a great suggestion, because I actually have a bat signal. So I think when we're done with Halloween, I think the bats are going to stick around, but I'm going to put the bat signal up. So it's going to be really fun.
Good.
Did I want anything? I don't know. You never know.
When?
Definitely for the bat cave.
He's asking if he won. But
did you win anything? Not yet. we haven't done any giveaways.
We will see.
So Zach said he recently discovered your channel and the Halloween videos have been great. Congrats on getting 500 subscribers. We're very, very excited. Waiting for The Crow. So The Crow, for those of you who are not like die-hard Crow fans, The Crow takes place on Devil's Night. So I'm trying to get that video as close to Devil's Night as humanly possible because that's when you should be either watching or reading The Crow. I love that. Just love it. Buzo says, content great so far, only been reading comics for about a year, not long enough to have a regular read for Halloween season. Nothing wrong with that. Comic book report, oh, can't wait for monsters.
And we'll have some recommendations for you on good jumping in points. Since you're kind of getting into it, you've been into it for about a year, and this may be your first Halloween season,
Bash.
I definitely have some suggestions for you. The Greyhound alert system has been activated, just so everybody knows.
Which,
that's what that noise is.
You guys all said last time that you wanted greyhounds in the room. So right now we have mostly quiet greyhounds, but
there are only 4.
Yeah, we have 2 visitors that are in the room.
But if I have to jump up and leave real quick, I'm on
He's on dog duty,
and then I may need to be out of the room for a bit, but I'll be back.
Could you all do a video on comics that are so bad it's scary? Wow.
That's an interesting idea.
Because I already did like my least favorite comic written by a woman, and it is technically supposed to be a Halloween title.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think of other ones that I would put in that category.
What I would like to say is that number one, we're human. We all have our likes, our dislikes. We all have our opinions. We obviously are doing this channel because we like to share our opinions, but we don't always feel like our opinion is the only one or that we're always right. We can agree to disagree. We've said that time and time again. That's the point of this channel. It's the point of what we do and why we're doing it. So that being said, and it kind of to answer your question, yeah, there are some comics out there that I have read and I'm like, wow, I'm glad I got it for free, only paid $1, or I would never recommend it to anybody. I don't know that it would be necessarily the best thing for us to do a full video on, though, because I never want to inhibit anybody's creativity. I mean, if you're brave enough to go out there and draw or write or balloon or line art or whatever, or ink something, and it gets put out in publication, and I buy it, even if it's a total stink bomb, you're a step ahead of where I am and where a lot of other people are. Be brave enough to go out there and do it. If other people don't like it, somebody out there might. And I don't know that I would want to put together a list of like, okay, so this is the worst comic book I've ever seen in my life, because I wouldn't want to ever have the person that was responsible for it feel like that was my goal, was to just tear them down.
Well, I mean, and
there are ones that we definitely will recommend that you skip.
Yes.
And you may disagree. And there are also ones that I would definitely tell you, like I started with the first issue or 2 issues and don't have any intentions of reading the rest. That's about as far as I'll go in saying, like, it's hands off for me.
Well, and I think our big thing that, we're always talking about is that there are a lot of ways that these stories could be improved. And I think that's, where I try and stick with it is, there are going to be times where a title, like I said, that Peekaboo Zenoscope title is that I will give you Zenoscope recommendations, and I will just as quickly give you Zenoscope titles that you need to run away from. Peekaboo is one of them. And for that book, I have about 4 or 5 different ways that if they made these changes, it would be a great story. So in some ways, I almost want to just like sit there and just analyze, like, if you tweak this and if you change this character and if you do these 4, suddenly now you have a great story. But yeah, there are definitely some titles that, I don't know if they give you nightmares, but they definitely make you sit there and go, wow, okay. So Tom says, yes, I like the different themes. Some of the characters I like to talk about are Deadman, the Spectre, and Phantom Stranger.
Cool. I'm familiar with Deadman and the Spectre. Phantom Stranger is a new one for me by the name. I may have read him and not realized. More Greyhounds React videos. I am down for that. And I have some suggestions for Laura next time because, as you all know probably from the amount of times we talk about our dogs, we're kind of like, we're dog people.
Yes.
That being said, like, she names everything. Everything. Inanimate objects, cars, computers, TVs. She names everything,
The
nicknames.
TV used to be Big Bertha.
I give voices to all of our animals. So I am totally trying to convince her that she needs to do another React video and let me actually provide the dialogue of what Jameson or Faith or Mac is thinking and saying with their reactions. And if we can do that and dub it in, it'll be coming soon.
Well, I was trying to help Dave because at one point he said he wanted a full video in my Joker voice. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I could throw in a couple accents, have a bit of fun,
We could try that.
So definitely more Greyhound reaction videos are coming, but...
Thank you, Jelliet. Yeah. Hey, how are you?
Jelliet! Congratulations, thank you so much. Love the Greyhounds, thank you so much, Doug, and always down to see the doggos. Sounds like they're just as popular as we are.
I would think so. So, speaking of doggos, though.
More doggos? Hang on. Appreciate you having your honest perspective. Thank you. Yes. Doggos?
We have had a lot of talk about the whole Stray Dogs covers and the horror thing, homage, right? The variants.
Definitely.
Any of you watching out there right now that like jumped on that bandwagon and grabbed a whole bunch?
Like
I'm just
46
curious.
covers, I think they're way past.
Which is why I'm curious, because now, when I first heard about it, I was all on board thinking, man, this is cool, this is so awesome. I'd read at least the first 3.
No, I don't think you got to 3.
I stopped because I heard about what was coming. I'll read it eventually, but not right now. But Laura was like, oh man, and she was showing me some stuff, and I was looking at some of the covers, and I'm like, yes, and then I heard how many were coming, and I'm like, my head just kind of blew up.
Yeah.
Also.
Well, and they have, so it's Stray Dogs Dog Days that's coming out in January, and so if any of you did not follow the Stray Dogs craze, the series blew up right before issue number 5 was released. And around issue number 3 was where I did the video kind of talking about how it changed the tone. And it went from a, like, oh, these are adorable little dogs to, oh my gosh, these horrible things are going to potentially happen to these dogs. Not just they're in the same household as a serial killer. So it got really dark, and then suddenly everything went just crazy, which was awesome. But it's the same thing with the homage covers, where, the first one that they did was Silence of the Lambs, which we should have grabbed that one. I'm kicking myself we didn't find it. It was sold out. But we have all the A covers. But that one was one of my favorites. There's an It cover that's also one of my favorites. I did get the Crow cover. So, very, very happy with that one.
Well, and you mentioned it in a different video, but I got to give a shout out right now as well to John Poplowski and Jax. If you notice back here behind us, we have not just a Stray Dog cover, but
it says on there, For Married with Comics.
Signed.
By Tony, please.
And it's because J-Pop, friend of mine, friend of ours, friend of the channel's brother, John, is out on the West Coast and heard about the signing coming up and was gracious enough to go and stand in line and get that for us. So
4
thank
hours.
you so much. Huge shout out. Jax, I hear you're also a Transformers fan, like myself. Just going to let you know you got something coming your way in the mail soon. Okay?
Well, and for those of you
As a way of
that,
saying thanks.
because I've got some Stray Dogs comments, I'm going to read them in just a second, but for those of you that haven't decided whether you're going to jump on the Stray Dogs bandwagon, because, like I said, there are a ton of variant covers, and there are variant covers just for the trade paperback. I've never seen that many variant covers. I think they exceeded 20 easily.
Oh, yeah.
So one of the things that I'm in a Stray Dogs group on Facebook, and we actually are in conversations with Tony Fleece and the artist who I cannot believe I've forgotten her name right now, so it'll come to me. Didn't mention I'm terrible with names. But, sorry, Forstner. I can't remember her first name. Trish Forstner. Woo! Anyways.
I was just enjoying watching that.
Really?
Yeah, I was.
Thanks.
It's all right.
Oh. Anyways, so both of them are in the chats, and we've been giving feedback as fans of the series saying, we love the series, but there are some of us that have budgets that there's no way I can afford all 50 of these covers. So what we've been talking to them about doing is like a hardcover collector's edition of taking the Dog Days series, which is just going to be a 2-issue kind of prequel, I guess they're going to be one-shot stories. They gave a little preview of one of them, and it's cute. The Free Comic Book Day issue was again cute, but it was very, very short, and it sounds like the Stray Dogs Dog Days is going to be very similar. So what they're talking about doing is a kind of collector's edition that would have the Free Comic Book Day issue plus the Stray Dogs Dog Days, then the Stray Dogs kind of series, and then at the back would have all of the horror comic covers, which that would be great. If not, I was hoping they would do like a portfolio artist style, like size, of just those horror homage covers. Whew, say that 3 times fast. No. So what did you guys have to say?
So yes.
Derek is all over the Stray Dogs. Did you get all the covers? Oh my goodness. If you did, I'm impressed.
Way to go.
I love the horror movie covers concept for Stray Dogs. It's definitely overwhelming. Completely agree.
Yes.
Got into it too late, but I'm hoping to get the trade. Definitely recommend the trade paperback if you are wanting to read the series. It's definitely worth it. If you're able to wait, listen, the hardcover is going to come out. It sounds like they're going to do a Kickstarter.
Oh, and you have a papillon named Sophie, or like Sophie. I can relate. That's one of the reasons I haven't read past where I read. Just, yeah.
Which, if you haven't watched the video that I talked about it, Scott and I both have kind of our do not cross lines when it comes to certain stories, which is why if there's rape in a comic or like massive violence against women, it makes me very, very, very angry. So I tend to not watch it or read it. It's very difficult for me. So it's the same thing with violence against animals. Scott just really struggles reading it. So we try kind of filtering for the other person. So as soon as I saw that Stray Dogs was heading in that direction, I gave him the disclaimer. But because the series ends, I'm hoping.
But Doug picked up on the horror variants. Awesome.
Main series instead of the covers. Good call.
Smart. Although I like both, but yeah, smart.
Just picked up the trade.
Jelly's gonna
can't wait to dig into it.
Nice.
It's a fast read.
Thank you, Doug. It is really cool. Thank you again, John and Jax.
Tony and Trish are awesome. I'm so glad that you can remember their names. So silly. I can't believe I forgot their names. Picked up the poster editions. Looking forward to the Dog Days. Yes.
Cool.
And
all right.
Loved the trade. Completely agree.
Awesome. Sorry, I went off on that rabbit trail.
Rabbit trail. Don't. So, beyond dogs, let's start with...
Let's get back to it. What's up?
Dave says, that's why I stopped watching halfway through the I Am Legend movie.
Yeah. Good point, Dave, and thanks for bringing that up. Let me go ahead and turn off that memory real quick. But yes.
The Scream cover. I was a fan of that one, too. There's so many great choices, but...
Why are we here today?
We are doing a giveaway.
We're talking about dogs, my favorite thing.
Yeah, we're not just talking about dogs.
Okay.
We're talking about our giveaways. So, first thing, I got to give a huge shout out and thank you. So, this is a shout out and thank you to Dave and to Dave's wife. So, Dave was the one who sent me the t-shirt and Dave's wife was the one who didn't want to keep the t-shirt. So, I went on both sides. So,
thank you both.
Yes. Second shout out and thank you is to Tom. So Tom sent us this very first giveaway.
Yes. Are we ready to do it? You're going to do the first giveaway?
One giveaway.
Oh, dun, dun, dun. We only have 2. You sure you want to go ahead and do the first one now?
I think they can handle it.
All right. I mean, it's not like we were 5-10 minutes late getting started.
I know.
Jeez.
It's our own fault. So Tom sent me several different trade paperbacks to give away, different series, and this is one that I've read, love it, and if you have not read it, you definitely need to. So this series is...
Batman, White Knight.
White Knight. For this particular series, if you are a general Batman fan, you don't have to have read every single Tom King run. You can just jump straight into this series. It's very well done. There are a lot of different moments and little key things that if you liked the Batman Dark Knight trilogy movies, then you'll see some of the little hints that they throw into the series to remind you of that. But the series is great. So down in the comment section, because I know some of you may already have this book, so if you would like to be entered into a chance to win said amazing giveaway, put your name down in the comments and say you're amazing and all that kind of good stuff, and I will enter you into a giveaway for...
Did you just ask them to all call you amazing?
No, I said call themselves amazing.
That's not what I heard.
No, I'm
Comment down
amazing.
below and put in "you're amazing" and all that.
No, like as in like if I'm typing it like I'm
Oh,
amazing.
The ego on this
Really?
one. I'm just saying.
No.
Wow.
No.
It's amazing. Her head fits in the frame, folks. I'm just.
Seriously. Seriously. No.
Okay. Comment and tell us how amazing you are for being
Exactly.
subscribers and for tuning in.
For being here with us. And then of course the big, question on top of all this is, do you guys have any questions for us? I mean, we can sit here and we can chat about all kinds of great things that are coming for the channel, and we can talk about great stuff, but do you have anything that you would like to know? Beyond what happens when sleeping greyhounds just lay around. They're all asleep. All of them.
Well, somebody downstairs is not asleep. I can hear them, but I may have to go check on them.
Yeah.
We'll see. See? Derek knows. Derek, you and me, bud, right here.
You're amazing and all that. Thank you, Derek. Question. Now that you've hit 500 subscribers, what advice do you wish you could tell yourself back when you started? Whew. What?
Buy a faster computer.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So the amount of editing that goes into each of those videos that you see, if you do any of them yourself, you understand. If you don't, and to be honest, like I had never done it to this level before, it's a tremendous amount of work to come up with 27 to 20 minutes of material. And all that being said, software is a huge help. That's the number one thing I highly would have recommended to us, although Laura was smart enough to kind of go ahead and jump on that and do that right off the bat. What she has been saying since the beginning, and we have yet to remedy, is that we need a faster laptop, essentially. I have a desktop. I have the opportunity to get desktops built for me by people that know what they're doing and can do it for cheaper than I can buy it and get a really high-performing one. Laura wants the portabilities. They don't do laptops, so we're still dealing with a very slow system, meaning she will upload, come downstairs, do something else for a couple of hours, then come back and check on the upload, then start editing, then go back downstairs, kill a couple more hours while it's still working away. It's just, it's ridiculous.
For those
the
of you...
speed is key because you wind up taking a day to plan, half an hour to 40 minutes to shoot, and then you spend, when you started, how long did you spend editing? 4 to 6
hours. No,
but
like
when
editing.
You started.
Editing takes me less than an hour.
But when you first started, it was taking
when I first started, it was 2 to 3 hours to edit one video.
Right.
Because I was figuring out and I was tweaking, and then, when you start adding pictures and animations and things like that.
And now you've got editing down to about an hour.
Like an hour. I've got it worked out. But for context, if you've got a fast enough computer, when you finish the editing process, which, like I said, I mean, when you beautify it, if you're really going all out, you can do like 2 hours worth of editing. But if you've got it pretty straightforward, it's about an hour. The thing is what should happen is what you do is you download and you basically convert it to a video file, and then you upload it to YouTube. The process to download it should maybe be 20 minutes. The process to upload it should maybe be another 20 minutes. So your turnaround time should very easily be an hour. My turnaround time just to convert it to a video file is anywhere from 2 to 6 hours. One day it took it 6 hours and I was dying. So anytime that you see a video that has been late, it is me sitting here trying not to beat the computer with a baseball bat. I really, 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 really don't like it. But it will be changed at some point. So that is one that I try and give the computer as much time as necessary to convert the file. And normally getting it up to YouTube doesn't take that long. It's the initial conversion process that...
Yes. So I'm going to come back to your question, the comic book report, but to tie in, because of what we've been talking about, let's go ahead and get Tom's question there. He asked, do you need a special program to edit?
So I do recommend it, but I'm a little spoiled. So I mentioned at one point and told you all that I used to be in IT. So I'm very, very familiar with a lot of the Adobe programs. So to me, it's kind of bread and butter. There are simpler editing programs that are available, and there are some YouTubers that never edit anything. And they just let the ums and the, incorrect statements or the parts where I forget a name, and then I go back, check it, and I put it back in there, and suddenly, magically, I remember a name. Things like that kind of tie together. So you can do this without an editing feature, but I tend to like it. And for Premiere Pro, that one is definitely one of the best, and it allows me the capability that if I want to add certain features or add certain things, I can always do that in the future. So it allows it to grow with my expertise instead of always kind of being limited to the program. Scott's going to run away. I think. Hey. But Dave, so my answer, so Scott's answer, of course, is the computer. My answer is, I think I would have gone more into the themes early on. In my initial videos, I was just doing like a straight up review of books and, just talking about different stories, and I wasn't quite sure which perspective I was going to take. And I found that the more I get into the videos, the more I start finding some of these more unique perspectives. So, we don't just talk about Witchblade, we talk about the art style, and then of course, as a woman reading Witchblade, is the art too distracting? I like being able to add some of those more unique things and perspectives into the reviews, and I think that that's paying off in the long run. Do you have the most anticipated series or collected editions coming out? Okay, so the one that's, again, slightly killing me, and it's only because it was delayed. So the Something is Killing the Children Deluxe Edition was supposed to come out last week. We were supposed to get, at least the pre-orders were going to be available. At one point they said it was going to be delayed by 2 weeks. Now they're saying it could be a month. For that one, it's because it collects all 3 volumes in one. I read volume 1 and 2, loved it, and I love that collected edition slipcase. I think it looks great. There's also a collected edition for Once and Future that I definitely want to grab. The series that I've been really, really dying to grab is mostly just because we've kind of gotten out of the habit of getting all single issues. So if we don't love a series, or if we like a series well enough, we know that we want to grab the trade, I'll kind of put it on hold knowing that eventually we're going to grab it. So the 2 that I am just dying to read is Autumnal. I got halfway through that series and had to kind of force myself to stop and wait for the trade. And the second one is Nottingham. So Nottingham is supposed to be a dark and twisty twist on the Robin Hood series. And I want to say it's either a serial killer twist. I can't remember what it is. I just remember reading the description, and I've been waiting for that series ever since. That was another one that they said was going to come out in the next week, and then they also said it could be 2 weeks, and then they also said it could be November. So that one is leaving me annoyingly in limbo. That's Bash. Yes, we could definitely chat about horror movies all afternoon. So many great ones to choose from. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, stopped by. Congratulations, and awesome on the subscriber milestone. Thank you so much, and I can't wait for you to reach your own. Oh wow, I haven't heard about either of those series, so I have to look them up. Definitely Stray Dogs. You were disappointed with Nottingham, really? I of course heard about it after it was on issue 3 or 4, so I haven't read it yet, but I know that there's a ton of hype around it. So J.D. Lewis, why did you not like it? I'm amazing and love DC. Thank you, Jelliet. You're super amazing. Okay, shirts are amazing, and Doug is laughing at us. Okay, so Scott is back, and he's going to entertain us exceedingly while I work on our giveaway.
And I'm assuming, yep, my mic seems to be working. Great. So, collected editions, I remember a question, right?
Yeah, the collected editions that you're most looking forward to.
Oh, wow. So, probably, I was going to say the latest Batman run from Joker War forward. But now I'm kind of mixed on that one as well because number one, I'm subscribed to Batman and Detective, so I have the single issues and I've been reading some, but I'm not up to date. And it got into some stuff with the uh, the judge. There's a point in the storyline where they've kind of lost me a little bit. That being said, I still am waiting for them to put it all together just because I love the single editions, and we've talked about this probably till you're sick of hearing of it. I collect single issues primarily for the covers and the artwork. And if it's a character I like and or a writer, that I know I'm going to want to read. But a lot of times I'll get the single issues and then I literally will put them on the shelf and wait until I have a chunk or until the trade comes out. Sounds stupid, I know, but I'm keeping the single issues because I think that they'll be worth something to me more so later on, or they may be worth something to somebody else later. I don't know. But the trades and the hardcovers, which we have a lot of Batman, are when I grab it and I start going into town on it. Now we have the Joker War Saga,
Yes.
the hardcover, and I'm curious to see what's coming up with the next couple twists and turns. There's an older book that I've been kind of keeping my eye on, but it's stupid expensive.
Which one?
And I don't want to say because then you're going to be like on the bargain.
Well, of course.
So what I'll do,
It's my job.
I'll mention it in one of my upcoming videos that I'm going to be doing because it kind of ties into it too. It is older, like I was saying. It's a different era, but it's also a character that's been around a long time. And I have it in the back of my mind that someday I'll own it, but I really don't know unless I got a great deal on it, or I just had a pile of money I was sitting on someday for no reason.
Debuzo, you made a comment about how amazing our T-shirts were. Do you want to be entered in the chance to win Dark Knight or the Batman White Knight? Just let me know down in the comments.
Anyhow, but yeah, I can't really pinpoint anything in particular that I'm just like, I can't wait for, because I'm so knee deep in everything that I'm getting, and I'm really enjoying a lot of it. Some of it not so much.
I had a couple series that, listen, some of you have definitely recommended. So Carmen is on my list that I can't wait to read.
Okay.
Oh, I think I've got.
I heard Saga's coming back.
Yes, I cannot wait.
So that's one that piques my curiosity.
Hang on, I've got my list. I'm actually going to pull it up because I know I'm going to forget something.
Did you decide yes or no on Fables?
So I found it's volume 1. It's basically the compendium over Ollie's.
Yeah.
So I had at one point read it's
That goes worse.
volume 1, and then that one actually has trade volume 2. And I read volume 1 and it was cute, and I didn't quite get into it. And everyone kept saying you need to continue reading until you get to volume 2. So I want to read that, and if it's that good, then I'll continue.
And did you mention Witchblade?
No. So
That's a collection you're looking at.
Witchblade volume 2, I want to continue on. The complete Gail Simone Red Sonja. I cannot believe I missed out on that one. It's signed by Gail Simone. There is one copy up on OPB, the Organic Bargain Prices. No. Organic Price Books. Woo! Did I mention I'm great with names? There's one copy that he has available that I am this close to buying, but that's one that I'm still kicking myself for not grabbing earlier. Gideon Falls. Sorry, this is the list. Oh, Basilisk.
Oh, we're losing people. We got to get this giveaway done.
Okay.
Baby, people are leaving.
People are leaving. JD Lewis, I'm sorry. Gotta run. Thanksgiving dinner. Wanted to pop up and congratulate you on your 500 subscribers. Thank you so much. No on the Batman giveaway.
He's a Marvel guy.
Marvel, it's okay. You're still appreciated. We like Marvel and Batman.
And stay tuned.
Yes, I'll need to stay tuned. Okay, so Scott, favorite horror movie, Hellblazer and Hereditary. Have you watched those?
Hellraiser. I mean, that's duh. I was Pinhead for Halloween one year.
Yeah, you
and I did buy the rubber mask with the little rubberized fake nails in it, and pins. I'm like, come on. So I went and bought a box of actual nails at Lowe's, and I spent many hours cutting all those off and then taking real nails and sticking them through from the inside and then hot gluing over the back so that the metal would kind of stay in place, and it gave me like a little bit of a cushion. I wore it, and I have pictures of me somewhere that may surface someday wearing it. It scared the crap out of several people that knew me but didn't know what I was going to be for the Halloween that year.
Because he was the smart kid.
Definitely big on Hellraiser. Dangerous Mask, I think it eventually wound up going away because I'm missing my entire. I had a trunk of Halloween stuff that was just for Halloween, and I haven't seen it in years, so I think I've lost it all.
But your favorite horror movie?
Oh, no.
That's a hard question.
I don't think I have a favorite because all the different genres I like. Although, I don't, because I was getting ready to say the classics like Dracula, Frankenstein, the newer versions of them especially. Francis Ford Coppola did Dracula, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't pick a favorite. I saw another question on there I was wanting to answer, but we do need to get a giveaway.
I know. I'm working on it. I'm working really, really hard.
I got more greyhounds downstairs that are desperately in need of attention.
Sorry, this is
very echoey.
Oh yeah. Hang on, let me get you a question and I will continue on. So, did you plan
to go to any cons again in the near future now that they're back? Okay. Yes. So what's the one coming up? In Charlotte or Greensboro?
You're asking questions about names again.
There's one on our radar that's within 3 hours drive that I think is later.
Heroes Con.
HeroCon. Is that this month?
No, that is in either March or May.
Okay, so after the first of the year. Nothing between here and the end of the year, though.
Correct.
Okay. So yeah, HeroCon, we're coming. I really, 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 really would like to go to Atlanta, but we'll see. COVID and everything and work schedules, that's a definite possibility though, because it's close enough to not be a real strain budget or time wise, but far enough away that it's not like you're going just down the street. That's the way I look at it.
Okay, we're gonna try this.
Try it.
Did White Knight appear? No. Hang on. It's not showing up.
In spite of all our technical difficulties,
there we go.
We did prepare for all this.
Wait, I've got the other wheel prepared in advance. If not, what I'm going to do is, you get to see a blank wheel. That's fantastic. All right. So we have a wheel with the following names. So I have Thomas, Jelliot, Doug, Derek, and New Adventures. All right. We need a question based off of one of our videos for those 5 people.
Based off of one of our videos?
All right, here's the same challenge that we dropped on our last live giveaway. So let's see who was paying attention. What is one of the names of one of our dogs? Our dogs. We have 3. And it has to be one of these 5 people, or there are 5 people. And whoever gets it right first is going to win our giveaway. And yes, Saga's coming back in 2022. I believe it's going to be January. Everyone's excited. Can't stay for long, Seth. Keep up the great work. Congratulations. And Seth, you are entered into the Ken Lashley live giveaway. So if you have to leave this live stream early, if you've been commenting on videos, I already have your name on that wheel. You still stand a chance to win. So, don't worry. For Nottingham, he said, it did not live up to the hype in my opinion. The story was mediocre at best. Hot and cold. Interesting. So, I'm kind of glad I'm waiting for the trade. Horror movie that left you scared for your life. New Adventures. Faith. Congratulations, New Adventures in Comic Books. You have won a copy of Batman White Knight.
Awesome. Thank you.
We have our email address, which is marriedwithcomicsnc stands for North Carolina at gmail.com.
Yes.
Send me your name and mailing address, and I will send you a copy of
Congratulations.
this beautiful trade paperback.
Thank you so much.
The horror movie that left you scared for your life. Whew.
That left you scarred for life.
Scarred.
So,
Sorry.
true story. I don't know if you call it horror or not, but when I was way too young, I'm the youngest of 4 siblings. We were on a trip in Wyoming visiting my oldest sibling. The middle kids wanted desperately to go see Jaws. I begged and pleaded and pitched a literal fit until my parents said, you know what, learn the hard way. You can go. Stayed awake the rest of the night with nightmares, literally like did not sleep, kept everybody in the house awake apparently. Went to Virginia Beach the year after that, would not get in the water, refused to go in the ocean. Fast forward 40 plus years later, I still have not been in the ocean to swim. I've lived on the West Coast, dipped my toes in the water, absolutely, maybe up to my ankles. If I can see the bottom, I'm probably okay. Not getting in up to my waist, just not doing it.
Yep.
Caribbean I did.
Yeah, but he could see the bottom.
Yes. And Jaws, if you call that a horror movie, definitely scarred me for the majority of my life so far.
So Jaws was definitely one of them, and I think because of that very first scene, I was really young when I watched it, and so my older siblings, one is 6 years older, one is 4 years older, and they were always watching these great movies and constantly were like, well, Laura's got to get out of the room. So I was the young one who was like, no, it's not too scary, I'll be fine. Or I'd be hiding in the back of the room to watch it anyways.
If only I could go back and talk to my younger self.
Yeah. So
like, no!
I was in the back of the room when Jaws started, and of course my siblings were just like, it's too scary for you. And after she was getting thrown around and screaming, I was out of the room.
Yep.
The other one I made the huge mistake of sneaking in and watching while my siblings were watching was the very first Alien movie. And I got as far as the person like dangling and they're calling like, help, help, and then the alien comes out of their stomach. I had nightmares after that one. I think I was 4 years old. Scared me to death. And I didn't watch that movie until we were married. Yeah, it was a long time before I finally got up the courage to watch Alien. Great movie. Aliens, also great movie, but whew, not at 4.
Anyhow.
Thank you, Derek, for having trouble remembering names too. There are a lot of names.
White Knight is a great book. Absolutely.
You're going to go to Heroes Con? We will be there. So we've already started talking to Kraken's Horde. They're going to have a booth. James Parrish, who did the Detonator Kickstarter, he's going to be there. We're going to see if DJ Hall's going to be there to show off some of his art, do some sketches. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
It is. Absolutely.
You're very welcome for the giveaway. Congratulations. And White Knight is a great book. I love it. Congratulations. So.
That's a great Batman story to add to your collection too, by the way.
Definitely. Even if you're not, let's say, a huge Batman fan, it's a great story.
It's a good one.
I'm excited to try some Batman stories in my collection. Definitely. Okay, so Scott.
Yes.
What are you most looking forward to? So, we have
Halloween.
Really? Because of the horror movies,
pumpkin beer,
the pumpkin beer, the pumpkin soup, the pumpkin desserts that I make, the candy that is still arriving at this house soon.
Okay.
Which part of Halloween?
Which part of Halloween? All of it. So I actually was just like cruising through the TV earlier today on, I think it's Peacock, one of our subscription services, and they had 5 of the seasons of Face Off, which is an old sci-fi series about special effects makeup artists in a competition setting. And I was like all of a sudden just pumped and wanting to go back and do that and rewatch those, which we own most of them,
all
I think. Do we? Anyhow, so yeah, because I love everything about this time of year. Fall is probably my favorite season because of the weather and the leaves changing, and it's not so miserably hot, it's not miserably cold. The grass quits growing, so I don't have so many chores to do on the weekend after I get all the leaves done. But we get to dress our dogs up in costumes and not feel bad about it because we don't do it the rest of the year, and they forgive us.
I will show you some pictures of some of the costumes that we've put either
Oh,
on
yeah.
our dogs or we've also done it to Foster's. We've just been like,
There will be more.
it's fun.
My absolute favorite part about it though is that you get that little crispness in the air. You get fresh apple cider or a good like heavier beer because it's fall. You don't drink light, summertime beer in the fall, or I don't. Or a good scotch, or and you're just like, there's football on in the background, or football game, college, or something going on, and you can smell like an apple pie baking, maybe.
Yeah.
The food, it's just rich and hearty, and it's everything about it. I mean, it makes you feel warm inside and out. I love it. It's like, and you're anticipating too. For me, like I'm obviously anticipating Halloween, duh, but all the stuff coming after too, like Thanksgiving, Christmas, a new year, surviving another year, woo,
Yes.
that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's all rolled up into one big swarmy ball of fall goodness. We would call them sweaty balls for Saturday Night Live fans,
Yes.
but we're being PG, so we're gonna call them swarmy balls. It's a swarmy ball of fallness. Good times.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
Eventually, I want to dress up my dog Oliver as Green Arrow for Halloween since I call him Oliver Queen.
Well,
That's awesome.
as soon as you said Oliver, that was the first thing I thought of.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yes.
Yes. There was actually a comic book I was reading just yesterday with Green Arrow, and Oliver was definitely the best in that one. So,
I like to hate him sometimes, but yeah. Anyhow, not your dog, the Green Arrow. Just saying.
So for me, like I said, fall is awesome, but the other question that I had actually was for the channel, though. So we have Hangout with BJ Kicks, we have Live Show with the Kraken's Horde, we have, more Halloween titles coming up, and he knows what categories are coming.
Yes.
Then we also have the Remember the 5th of November coming out on Via's Vendetta on November 5th. Then we have the, Dogs Are Taking Over comic books, series, or at least video coming. And eventually we're going to try and kind of wrap up the year. Which one are you actually excited about? I'm excited about everything.
Yeah, I'm excited about all of it. I'm looking forward to the year-end wrap-up thing though. Like especially when we look at the end of the year back, and see where we're at. And I think it's going to be fun to go back over some of our favorite clips from some of our videos, some of our favorite recommendations from some of our subscribers that we've had a chance to read by then, and also just kind of reminisce on the channel and the swarminess of it.
And just because you said that, he says, I don't think Schwarmy or Schweddy changes the rating.
Thank you.
Dave wants to know, have your reading and collecting habits changed since you started your channel?
Yes.
Yes and no.
Oh, wow.
Well, okay, so
yes.
One of the big things that I want to start doing after we kind of get past November is I want to start highlighting more what people consider true independent titles. A lot of people, whenever they say indie titles, we immediately think of Dark Horse and Image Comics, except if you talk to people who are, Dynamite. But if you start talking to other people who are kind of really big into indie titles, they'll say, well, those are actually bigger,
Yeah.
And they're almost at the same size now as Marvel when they were starting out. So there are smaller independent companies that are still creating some great comics. They just don't have kind of the notoriety of Image. A lot of those I've been wanting to start highlighting. So I've started making a point of grabbing some of these, it's not exactly miscellaneous titles. Some of them are done by a lot of the artists and writers that we all love. It's just now under, a different name. So I've been wanting to try and see, kind of like with the Substack, and see what happens when there's more creative freedom. What do you create? And there are, I'm sure, going to be some times where it's not going to be that great, and there are going to be some times where it's going to be a diamond in the rough. So I'm really curious to start highlighting some of those things. AWA, I've got some Vault comics. Magnetic Press, and it's the one who creates the Niobe series. I'll remember with the name because I'm staring at the book across this room right now and I cannot remember it for the life of me. But that's one of the things that I'm looking forward to doing and that I'm making a point to start grabbing.
So I think our collecting habits have changed. Mine especially have changed in that when we first started the channel, we realized that like we each had our kind of our favorites in our wheelhouse, and we definitely didn't want to just do a channel on that. So we wanted to expand our horizons as much as we possibly could, as quickly as we possibly could. And the best way we did it, which happened to coincide with one of our LCS's COVID response, was Ultimate Comics started doing these dollar warehouse sales, and they just put tons of back issues out on tables. And it started off with fill a box for like 60 or 65. I don't remember.
It was 75. It was awesome.
It was a ridiculously low price, and it was however many you could fit in the box. And we both would go and just like rifle through, and if it looked vaguely interesting, character that we'd heard of, or maybe not, or a writer or an artist, or even like an interesting storyline on the cover, we grabbed it.
Yep.
And just set it aside. And then we would bring all that home and be like, all right, now research. What's the beginning and end of this? Did we grab the first 3 issues, the middle issue? What do we need? And then go back and try and fill in gaps at the next warehouse sale or at our LCS or on eBay. That has changed because we amassed such a collection that on top of our weekly subscriptions, on top of those special editions that were coming out, the J. Scott Campbell launches that were coming out, the ASM had some stuff coming out. There was a whole bunch of designer covers from a Batman. There was a lot of stuff that was hitting. The 80th anniversary of this, 80th anniversary of that. There were 15 different X-Men covers.
Oh my
just
gosh,
like inundated with all these other specials that we wanted to grab. And so it was like, well, wait, we're either going to keep going at this rate and never have time to read anything and have such a huge collection we're not even sure what we have, or we're going to slow down and we're going to go through what we have and we're going to fill in gaps and we're going to get really important special editions or artists or covers that just like hit all of our boxes, right? Check all of our boxes, but we're going to pass up on some and wait for trades or wait for a collected edition or whatever. That has changed tremendously because that was not the way we started off at the beginning of the channel. But I will say, like, even though we kind of went like shotgun approach at first, we got some great material, and we're still not even, I wouldn't even give it a percentage. We're not 1% through, in my opinion, our collection of what we're prepared to do a review and share with you on. Because some of it I've read, she hasn't, vice versa. Some of it we read the beginning of the series, but we don't have the end, or we haven't read the end yet. So we're still just barely getting into what we currently have.
Well, and what I did with the shotgun approach was try and find characters that I knew just a little bit about and see if it was something that I wanted to pursue more of.
Exactly.
So the Red Sonja, the Gail Simone complete edition, I grabbed kind of a variety, and I just sort of grabbed a lot of different miscellaneous Red Sonja runs. I didn't pay any attention to who the author was, the writer. I just saw Red Sonja, and I was like, listen, I'm probably never going to buy, all these different series and all these different events. Let's see which one I actually like. And I found any that were kind of remotely in some sort of order, and then I just started reading them. And even though, you were kind of jumping into the middle of a story, sometimes you could at least slightly piece it together, and that's how I found that I really liked the Gail Simone run. And that was the one that I'm like, okay, well, now I need to go grab it. And I did that with a couple others, but I've got a couple other, collected editions that I'm definitely going to check out. Like I've got a Sinestro run that it's a character that I would never pursue or seek out, but I'm like, well, why not? So that's been a lot of fun. And Comic Book Report says, can't wait for BJ Kicks crossover. Completely agree. That's going to be a ton of fun. Now, we are definitely hitting our end of our live stream, and Scott's coming back. Don't worry. And yes, congrats, New Venture. Let's get to our fun bits, which everyone's here for. And of course, Scott has hidden. Hang on. Okay. this is what we are all here for. So this is our Nonstop Spider-Man issue number 1, Ken Lashley cover. It's remarked, it's signed by the artist. You guys have all heard my kind of behind-the-scenes story on why I chose this one, why I'm giving it away, why I'm trying to kind of give something else to someone else, from Ken Lashley. I've kind of continued to pay it forward. So what I did with our fantastic little wheel, let me make sure you guys can see it. I'm going to move it over a little bit. So I went through every comment section from all videos starting from yesterday all the way through August the 8th, because that's when our last live stream was. And if you commented on at least 3 videos, 3 separate videos, so if you did 3 comments on one video, I only counted it as 1 comment. So went through every single one of those, and if you did 3 or more comments, you are on this wheel. So let's see. Sorry, so should also give my little behind the scenes disclaimer. When I'm working on a computer, normally I'm wearing glasses, and my distance vision stinks. So that's why I'm sitting here like a little old lady going, I can't read this. Hang on. Hang on, I literally need my husband to come back. Give me just a second. I'm going to lean close to the computer. Sorry. I was so proud of myself for having this ready in advance. Come on. Hey there, do you see the interact button? Spin the wheel. Okay, I am sorry. So what I'm going to do to make sure you guys actually trust me, I'm so sorry.
Just spin it here.
Exactly, we're going to spin it here, and I am recording it so that way you guys can see that I am not making this up.
Right. Click to spin. And wow. This is actually exciting. Yeah.
Set. Now we're moving closer. Oh.
Does it ever stop?
It's going to stop.
Manic
23.
Wow.
Okay.
That was very, very close. I actually was got a little bit of anticipation, a little anxiety watching that, but that's cool. Manic 23, does he know what he gets?
Yeah.
Do they know what they get?
Yes, because we've been talking about this nonstop.
Well, I figured, but did you show him what it is in person today?
Did
live?
You show the Mac?
Mac says, I will be your prop. Look at that. Yeah. Good job, Mac.
So, Manic 23. I will try and reach out to you and let you know that you have won this amazing copy of the Ken Lashley cover. please reach out to us at marriedwithcomicsnc@gmail.com
Yes.
and claim your beautiful Ken Lashley cover. What I need is your name and your address.
Well, and congratulations, first of all. Thank you to everybody else that's been participating. I mean, this is just, again, the beginning. We're in early stages. You
Yes.
heard Laura's ultimatum
Yes.
or promise, however you want to look at it, that if we get to 1,000 subscribers by the time that we do this live show on the 29th,
29th.
that there will be a slab in it for somebody.
Yes.
Not just another giveaway, a slab. My girl don't mess around. I like it. I'm sure, too, that we have other stuff that we are contemplating giving away, if not at the next live show, if we hit 1,000 subscribers at the next live show. Or, what's the next thing?
So what's going to happen is on October 29th, on the Kraken's Horde, we are definitely doing our, like, it's basically, it's our, not just our giveaway, but it is our fundraiser for the channel.
Yes.
So, the other big thing is I am working on having something available for free for anyone who purchases anything at this live show. So whether you're buying something from us or you're buying something from the Kraken's Horde, I have something special up my sleeve that will be available for all of you. So some of the things that we will have available for sale. So some of it will be some of the books that we've discussed here on the channel. We will have books, we will have some singles, we will have some sets. We're going to have kind of a little conglomeration. So I know some of the big ones that I am adding to the list just for me. I have my Thor run, which is Donny Cates. So that's 1 through 15 or 16. They're all first prints. Cover A on everything except for issue number 3. For that one, it's cover B. But cover B is still worth something. So full run of that. I have Department of Truth issues 2 through 13. I technically have issue number 1, but you guys would have to give me like the to be good, you know, like amazing price that I would actually have to be willing to give up issue number 1, because it's a Tinian cover. Anyways, so I have almost a full set for Department of Truth. I have Oblivion Song set, which is 1 through 20. So those are just the sets. We have a bunch of books. I know we're selling the Penny Dreadful book. Got a couple others. The Hellblazer series that I just talked about in the last video. We've got a lot of great stuff. Marvel Zombies. We've got a couple other ones that will definitely show up on there. Passive Aggressive. That set, so if you wanted both passive and aggressive, that will be there. We've got some Bad Idea comics that will be available. Everyone's saying great live stream.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And yes, you were so close. Listen, that was ridiculously close for you. Congratulations. Lots of congrats. Ken Lashley is the man, and he is definitely the nicest man in the industry. Completely agree. Thank you.
All right, so he is incredibly nice, but I've yet to meet him in person. I know you've talked to him. We did meet Aunt Lucia in person. He's way up there too, just saying. Incredibly nice, humble, talented, just down-to-earth guy. Really like Aunt. I'm a big fan of his as well. As you all know, I'm a fan of Bombshells. And who did we meet at the last con that was sitting?
Oh, gosh.
I mean, there was somebody, and I remember your voice changing.
Just a little.
What was her name again? I can't remember. Joelle
Jones. You know,
Joelle
Jones.
Also incredibly nice and humble, which is one of the reasons why I love this industry. I'm sure they're out there, but I've yet to meet anybody who's just like, yes, you may worship me now.
There are some that, and it's true for any artist. There are some artists that, just like Kyle Higgins, where you meet them and they are so enigmatic, and immediately you're kind of drawn to their personality. And then you also meet some that are a little bit more
aloof. Exactly.
Where they're willing to sign, they're willing to say hello, but they don't always kind of initiate conversations. Yes. But their work is incredible.
Exactly. Some of them speak through their work better than they speak in person, I would say, or maybe are more comfortable letting their work speak. Is the impression I get. Yeah. Obviously, I don't know because I don't know them and their background, but, you know, yet still, though, to meet anyone, it was just pompous.
Finally getting to watch. Congrats on the 500. Thank you. Thank you, JD. What is your favorite comic book based movies?
Oh my God. So, first of all, original Tim Burton Batman series, because that kind of brought everything back to being cool again. There have been some really not so hot versions of comic books in films in the 70s and 80s. Just saying. Now they're almost sought after for their cheesiness or their badness, like the comment that you guys asked about comics that we've read that are so bad they're scary. There have been some movies out there that were so bad that you just kind of have to watch them, like a train wreck. But no, Tim Burton Batman original, as well as the Dark Knight trilogy, because I took it to a whole other level. But then I got to go with like the original X-Men movie, because I was blown away by the cast, and at the same time, it was another one of those first, like, I'm seeing these things on TV and in movie and in a special effects way that in my mind I had only been able to capture in that still image from frame to frame.
Do you guys remember like that very first scene with Wolverine?
Well,
like
of course.
the punch and the sound effects.
And then the
oh my God.
Yes.
Like I told you all, I was a big X-Men fan when I was growing up. And when I heard that they were making an X-Men movie, I was so excited. But Wolverine is also another one of my favorites. And I was like, you can't mess up this character.
Yep.
And the second you see Wolverine, you hear kind of the grumbles, and then that very first punch.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, I know I was in the seat just like that, but I know the rest of the audience just went nuts.
So that's a DC and a Marvel, right? We mentioned one of each.
The Crow.
Yeah,
The Crow.
That's kind of an indie.
That's
one of our all-time favorites, I think.
And The Crow. So a lot of times I will be very like die-hard fan of either the comic, the book, or the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times I'm too divided. Unless the story is so opposite that then it's one brings out something unique that the other does not. And The Crow is one of those just again unique stories that, even though the comic goes in different directions and it's in a slightly different order than the movie is, I still love both of them so much.
I would say out of the more recent stuff, I loved the latest versions of Spider-Man. I really liked what they did with that. I think he caught both the awkward teenager and hilariousness and superhero, struggle very well. But Black Panther blew my mind with some of the special effects in that movie and some of the ways that they shot stuff. Even though it was a character at that time that I was less familiar with, the movie got me to where it inspired me to read more and to grab more, and I have been since then.
Oh, Scotty.
Oh, Laura.
The Comet. The Rocketeer.
Well, of course.
He loves the Rocketeer.
So, yes,
and
I just wish they'd make that again. Not knocking it in any way, because first of all, it's a movie about an era and a hero from an era in time where the movie did very well with the special effects and with the dialogue most of the time. I love Jennifer Connelly, but I would like to see a more recent version of it, still set in that same time, but I want to see modern technology depict some of the stuff in that in perhaps a more believable way, a little bit less tongue-in-cheek way.
I think he also just wants to see Betty Page.
Well, I missed the boat on that one, but yes. A new modern actress that would portray her would be great.
Will there be a zombie comic themed video? Yes, absolutely. We can't do a Halloween themes, vampires, and there will be monsters, there's demons. We gotta cover zombies, and that one's coming soon. You got to experience both Kyle Higgins and Joelle Jones at MegaCon. Awesome.
Yeah.
And there was a comment up here. So Blair Witch for me. I've always been concerned about getting lost in the woods. No reason for that fear, but there you go.
Movie that scarred you for life. That's a really good one. And I will say, so Silver Bullet was kind of a cheesy werewolf movie. Well, not cheesy. It's Stephen King. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it at all. But the protagonist being a child kind of set a tone for the film. Then I watched the first Howling. And I used to live on where the house I grew up, 3 acres, and only like 3/4 of that was cleared land where the house and gardens were, and then the rest were woods. My playground, loved it. Grew up in the back in the woods, always. Watched The Howling. Got a little freaked out a couple times. Seriously, like turning the dogs out at night and going into the woods or edge of the yard to call them because they weren't coming, and hearing the rustling. I'm not sure if it was my dog or not coming at me. Not gonna lie. A little bit of pee might have come out once, but I was very young, and the movie was, at that time, I mean, very well done. And it was just, yeah. It was another one that gave me a totally different impression of the woods in my backyard from that point on.
Well, and I think one of the things that Scott and I have talked about a lot is that the horror movies that still get us today are a lot of the
Don't even.
like
She's gonna do it.
Conjuring, Exorcism, demon possession, like
Yeah.
this.
So The Exorcist, The
Oh,
Omen, the
The
original.
Conjuring.
We just watched the
we
new
just watched,
version.
Yeah.
Those things mess with me, and I'll tell you why. We just watched The Omen, right?
Yes.
The modern version of it.
It's actually really good.
Week ago.
Yeah.
I'm at work. Within 2 to 3 days of watching it, somebody buys something at the counter. Their total was $16.66. That's why I don't like those movies. Because something somewhere in my life afterwards flashes up and gives me that little bit of an inkling of like, those other things are fake, but shit could be real. That's why I don't like it. My hair just stood up.
Yes, it did. J-Pop wants to know, what about a TV series on The Crow? That I could probably actually really get into, because for the movie, I'm like, if you want to try and do Brandon Lee, that's a tall order, and I don't recommend it. But if they were trying to create a fuller story and go and maybe create more towards the comic book instead of trying to just recreate the Brandon Lee Crow, I think that could be really, really good. And I think that there's a lot that they could really delve into. So that one, actually, I may get more behind.
Target's got a sale.
Omnibus is, 3 for the price of 2.
Thanks for the heads up, though.
Heads up, awesomeness, and
so
now shopping.
Spider-Man 2, yes. Superman
78. Batman 89.
Captain America Winter Soldier. And
Yeah.
the first Teenage Mutant. All right, yeah. Oh, yeah, the first you're 100% agree with you on that one, especially. That was a unique film. It's a unique book, and it was done very well, I think. And I still watch it from time to time just for fun.
I love that very first Tim Burton Batman movie, but then I also still like the Dark Knight trilogy. But I think a lot of it has to do with the Joker.
Yeah.
Like, I love the Joker in both of those different films, but the way that you have 2 different translations of the character, and it was like that Wolverine moment where I'm like, you can't mess this up. It's Jack Nicholson's character, and they did it, and it was brilliant.
Yeah.
Prometheus freaked me out when my dad had me watch it. I really can't handle scary.
Superman 78, I will say, like, yes, I agree.
Movie-wise.
For its time, yes, it did bring a lot to the screen from the page, but it's not one of the ones that I go back and watch over and over again, just because, again, the level of technology that's come up since then. Like, I watch Man of Steel, and then you watch Superman 78, and not knocking Christopher Reeve, not knocking any of the cast, Margaret Kidder, all of them, Gene Hackman, great cast, and a really good depiction of a Superman story. I want to see the newer special effects. When he does the cold breath, when he flies, when he, I want to be more believable when he shoots the lasers out of his eyes. And 78, they weren't quite there yet.
Okay, so we are going to wrap this up at some point, but I do have a quick question for you guys, because I feel like Superman always seems to get the short end of the stick. Because Batman, we've had all these different kind of reiterations. And
there have been a ton of Superman
I know,
TV
I'm going to get there.
and movie.
So with Batman, we've had all these different versions, and with the exception of like the ones that I can't stand, overall Batman has been at least liked, all the different versions, and people haven't kind of picketed, boycotted.
No.
With Superman, there was the Brandon Roth one that everyone said it was too emotional, there wasn't enough action. Then there was Superman the very Returns. First Henry Cavill movie that everyone said was too much action and not enough angst. And then the next one was, everyone cared about Wonder Woman, no one cared about Superman. And I'm like,
Well,
it seems like he can never win.
Bottom line is it's a character people care about so much that they're going to have those kind of emotions. They're going to swing one way. You're never going to please everybody.
True.
If it's somebody that's just like a side character, like, I don't know, Aquaman. I'm just saying. But seriously, like, you could have picked anybody in the world to play Aquaman. You pick a 6'10" Samoan with scars and a tattoo. I've never seen that version in the comic books, but everybody loved that movie.
It was,
To my knowledge. Out there, definitely people out there that have a whole litany of things to say about what was wrong with it. I just haven't come across them yet, and I'll be honest, I'm not looking, I'm not researching it. But to my point, Aquaman is not one of those characters that everybody's like, you must do it this way. Or if they are, they weren't very loud about it after.
And did we watch Brightburn? Yes, we did.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That was a good twist, and I like it. It's one of the reasons why I like The Boys.
Yes.
Because it's like the other side of the superhero thing.
Every once in a while, you gotta shake it up. I mean, that's one of the problems that I have with Superman, which we did like Superman and Lois.
Yes.
And we did watch Smallville. So, I mean, it's not all angst against.
We watched Smallville, and there are people out there that are probably pick at us for that, which is fine.
I mean, like I said, there are moments that we absolutely like Superman, so I'm not trying to just diss on him. But at the same time, he's not my favorite character because he's such an all-around good boy. So when you take something like Batman and you give it a Brightburn twist, I'm like, that's fun.
It's another reason why I like the newer Superman.
But also that's why I think in a lot of ways we're going to get a new twist with Batman, or why Bruce Wayne needs to stop being Batman, because we've done everything that we can with Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, we're getting the sparkly vampire version.
The only movie that scarred me still has nothing to do with Halloween, really, is Transformers the movie, when you saw the Autobots get killed and Optimus Prime dying.
Ooh, okay, so right there, yeah. Because I grew up with the toys and then the cartoons, and then when I saw the movies, that's another one that's one of my favorites of all time, because it was, oh my god, in real life on a big screen, this is so cool, and that's what they sound like. Of course that's what they sound like. But then that scene in particular, yeah, I'm not going to lie, that was rough. And I'm like, it's fake and he's a robot, but yeah.
You going to be okay?
I am now. I think.
So, I think
wrapping up.
This is the end.
This is the end. My
thank you all so much for tuning in. It's been a ton of fun.
It has been. No greyhounds were harmed during the filming of this live show.
I like John calling Superman out for not doing enough to actually change the world in the new Son of Kal series. Good point. Also think Stargirl's a good show. I haven't watched that one yet.
I've been waiting, honestly, because I wanted to, I know the character from Bombshells, and I wanted to kind of wait till the series was on its legs and then just catch up on Hulu. So
yeah, we're going to binge watch and catch up. But basically, the next time you will see us all live is October 29th.
Tune in.
Tune in. Like I said, I have a giveaway for anyone who buys anything. And then, of course, we're going to be there with the dogs, and the dogs will be in costume.
Yeah, they'll actually be on camera.
And yes, they're going to be on camera. I will try and find some way on Instagram to at least show you pictures of what the dogs have been doing during our live stream, which is sleeping. It's a really, really hard life being a greyhound.
Yeah. I need to get back to the ones downstairs, so thank you all for joining us. It's been fun, as always.
Go get some books via Target. I like the way he thinks.
She's already got it on her phone. She's looking it up.
Of course I am. Oh darn, I have to go shopping. Thank you again for a great show, and congratulations again. Thank you so much.
You all make it happen.
Absolutely. And we have some other great comics listed, so we know for sure Zombies and Monsters are coming soon, and there's more. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much.